pivot table slicers are visual filtering tools that allows users to filter pivot table data using clickable buttons. Slicers make filtering pivot tables faster, clearer, and more attractive. Before inserting a slicer, let us remove the filter which we inserted in our previous video. So let me click on this drop down and remove the field. Similarly, we will remove the region and the category of the products. Now, what we have is the subcategory of the product, the sum of sales, and sum of profit. To insert a pivot table slicer, click anywhere on the pivot table. So once we click on the pivot table, we will get a tab called Pivot Table Analyze. So we click on Pivot Table Analyze, and here we have the option to insert a slicer. So we'll click on Insert Slicer. Here we can select the options we want. So what we will select over here is we will select the category of the product and region and click OK. So what we have over here is the category, the three categories: furniture, office supplies, and technology, and four regions: central, east, south, and west. When we click on the slicer, this slicer tab appears on the screen. So we can change the design of the slicer by clicking over here and maybe select this design, and also can change the appearance of the slicer, meaning changing the size or column by using these options. So let me select the region slicer, and here we have one column. We can change the number of columns to 4 and then drag and increase the size of the slicers horizontally and then shrink it vertically. So we can change the size color of the slicer the way we want. Now let's see what a slicer does. In the slicer, we have the option to select one region and one category, or multiple regions and multiple categories. Currently, we have the furniture and the south region selected, so the data is filtered accordingly. We can select all the four regions by clicking on this clear filter button. So when we click here, all the four regions are selected and the data changes accordingly. We can also select multiple category of products by pressing the control key on our desktop or keyboards and then select two categories. So when I press control key and then select the category I want. So we have furniture and office supplies selected now for all the four regions. Let's select the central region. So furniture and office supply revenues and profits for the central region. If I want for central and south region, I can press the control key on my keyboard and then press south. So now we have the revenues for central and south region for furniture and office supplies. Now let us learn how we can insert a timeline in our slicer. So to insert a timeline slicer, we will click on the pivot table and then click on pivot table analyze and select insert timeline. So it is asking for order date and shipping date. So we'll select shipping date and click OK. So now we have this timeline. So where we have the data for each of the years. Now we can filter the data by region, by category, and by the shipment date or shipment year. So if we select this timeline slicer, we can filter the data for each period. Here we have the drop down. So we have the option to convert this timeline to quarters, month, year, or days. So let's see what happens if we click on quarters. Now we have the option to select the data by quarter. So if I want to select the data for Q1 2016, so we have the data for the central and southern region for furniture and office supplies for Q1 2016. We can also select the data for the entire period. So we can clear the filter, and what it does, it selects the data for the entire period. So let me clear all the filters we have currently for the region, category, and shipment date. Now, if I want to select the data for any particular month, I can choose the month feature also here. and then select the data for a particular month. So this again is a very interactive tool and a very flexible option given in Excel to filter the data for each of the category, product, region, state, city, or by the dates. It can be order date or shipment date, the way we want. Since it is just a few clicks, we don't have to enter complicated formulas while filtering data in the pivot table. Thank you.